Hello there. I want y'all to listen to this really quick. I thought it'd be perfect for our subject. So tune into the words.
I meant what I said. You don't complete me. Now, before you get upset and walk away, let me explain how a simple word like complete doesn't begin to define all you are to me. See, if two halves make one, then to the naked eye, we together will be the perfect union. But let's take this a step further. At best, you'd only get half of what I have to offer. All of me wouldn't exist, and you would just have to settle for half my attention and half my time, half my body and half my mind, half my love and support of half your dreams, half of my affection. Do you see where this is going? I would make you happy half the time and be half a wife, become a statistic and spend with you only half my life. No, that's unacceptable for me. So I prefer to say that you compliment me. One definition for compliment is to make perfect, and that's a more accurate depiction of who you are to me. Already whole, but in your presence, I strive to be a better me. Yet another definition is full quantity, not just half. You deserve all of me. So I hope I've cleared this up and you understand that you'll never complete me because you surpass me in half a man.
Hope you heard that. You surpassed me in half a man. You know, I wanted to make sure that I take time to share with you this particular message today. I've gotten a lot of calls over the past couple of months, and I know a lot of it has to do with, you know, the spirit of loneliness, and a lot of it has to also do with women who want to be married. I don't know if you can see my topic there, talking about spiritually naked women. You know, my book that I wrote back, and this is part of it, I want to share part today that I wrote back in 2016. It's also a workbook, Spiritually Naked Women. And, you know, but the Lord was telling me to make sure that I include today spiritually naked men, you know, because we got to look at the fullness of what singleness is. There is a whole lot of women who desire to be married, and, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's really good. But I want to talk to you from a therapeutic perspective so you can really understand what is happening to a whole lot of women and men today. A lot of them are trying to get someone to complete them. And this is the reason why I played the song from my girl Nia. You'll see that in my description there. I put her information there. I sure miss her. I don't know where she is, but she gave me that CD and I really love it. So I'll be sharing it off and on because she's talking straight from her soul. She's sharing so much. Again, it's Nia Soul, it's her pen. And she's talking about journey to her destiny. That's what it's called, journey to my destiny as my soul speaks. But I like the way she really brings on her messages because she's trying to keep it real in regards to relationships, in regards to where she's been, telling it like it is. We have looked and we have heard the stats across the globe. We have men and women fighting on every level, and we won't leave out kids being missing and the whole nine. But I want to talk to you about why some of the relationships, why some of the reasons women and men are spiritually naked, and some of the reasons that many of you need to kind of take a good look at why you feel like that you need to know, or when God is showing you you're made when actually you're naked. You can't know when you're naked spiritually. And so one of the things I want to bring out in this conversation is to just first say, I've been single now for I don't know how many years. I know more than 25. But one of the things I learned about being singleness is just the joy of being single. I believe that there should be a joy in everyone who's single, and they shouldn't be sad about it. When they say, well, that's you, Dr. Murphy. I mean, I'm getting older. I want to be married. I haven't got anybody who I've found yet to really believe. I can really believe that it's God telling me that this is my mate. Well, that's what I want to begin with, to kind of start with some of the reasons why that you have to understand that singleness is really a joy, because from the beginning of this thing, if you my tongue, if you remember in the beginning of time, it was just Adam, okay? And so, but it had to be an understanding of who he was, okay? And so because he didn't grasp who he was, then everything got out of position, everything got messed up. I'm not here to bring a Bible study. I'm here to talk to you from a therapeutic session here today because we have a lot of women. As you can see, I put part 1 there, so I'll be coming back giving some little nuggets out of my book, Spiritually Naked Women. But I want to add me into that today. And so I want to talk about Proverbs 25 and 28 to start us off. As you can see that I put the scripture there for you, and I gave it to you in the ESV version. But it says here in the King James that he that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. See, I just want you to visualize that for just a minute, okay? You want to get with someone who you believe, and most of the time we believe because sexually they make you feel good, or we believe because they fine and muscles and mind is strong and they got the money and look like they're taking care of you, the whole nine. We think that that is our mate. Okay, now I can't get into the whole nines. I need to talk to you, especially those who are called a ministry. I can't talk to you on that realm as much as I need to talk to you right now, because common sense should tell you anyway, God is not going to put no apple with no lemon, especially when you are pretty much where he's headed you in kingdom purpose. And so then you want to go and try to get a lemon and put it in there and figure you can make some lemonade with it and go on and have your steak with it too, but that's not going to work. Okay, so we got to look at what is daddy saying to you. I say daddy a lot here because he is. I believe that if he's able to be a father, he's able to be a daddy to me. So if you don't like that, we got to love it. Okay, but listen, the main thing that I really want us to understand in this part right here is understanding that the impregnation of singleness is very important for you to begin to learn who you really are. Most of the people don't really know who they are. That's what it's saying right here, that first of all, if you don't know how to rule your own spirit, most of us who have been into so much trauma, and I'm talking to my bros here too, okay, because I've been married 3 times, and I'm not afraid to say that, and I've already said that over and over again. I believe that's why the Lord has anointed the ministry, for me to be able to talk from all these realms, okay? First of all, I married someone who was a soul tie, okay, for something, and then many of you have done that. And then the second one that I married, this dude here the first one would try to kill me, that is. And then I married the second one from the soul tie, who I figured would do and take care of me and not hurt me, but did the same thing. Didn't get to beat me or shoot me, but he did get to hit me a couple of times, because I'm still in this realm of what I believe that makes me feel complete. That he's going to take care of me, he's going to do these things to me sexually. And then the third one, it was straight out nothing but flesh. Made me feel good sexually. Rock my world. Okay. But guess what? This was all a facade. This was not God's divine purpose for my life. But I learned from that. And that's why I'm here to talk to you about it. Okay. And I know the bros who really get with these women who have all these different type of spirits and vice versa. Him too. The guys too have all these spirits that's going on within their soulish realm. You believe that because you gave your life to the Lord, and that's the end of that, but you never got any of these things, these residues out, and you think everything's okay. But for some reason, you're still thinking about Jackie in the back of your mind, how Jackie rocked the world, and you keep this thing quiet. And like I always say, you got to kill it before it gets ground, okay? But many people don't want to kill that thing. They want to keep it quiet. They want to keep it silent. They want to keep it hidden. And if that's the reason why the devil says, good, you give me rights to stay right here, I'll start teaching you how to make sure you watch porn and that you masturbate whenever the one you're married to don't give you what you're looking for that Jackie gave you. Don't want to preach, just want to take you there right now. So you think about this. Think about that there's no walls. Everything is wide open. Everything is accessibility because we give it a right. I just knew I had to come here today. I talked to a sister today. I'm not going to call her name. I hadn't talked to her in years. And she told me, she said, Dr. Murphy, I'm just getting older. She said, I'm in my 50s, and I still don't have a husband. I don't understand what it is that what I need. I'm trying to do everything as a holy woman of God. I think in one guy that he's my husband. And then the next thing I know, he's not paying me no attention. He don't want to have anything to do with me. It's just nothing clicking. It's like it looks like it's clicking, but then all of a sudden things are breaking down. Then we find all kinds of other ways that we, I guess, figure that this is going to make us click as far as the relationship is concerned. Before we know it, we done got in bed with them. We're trying to figure out how we're going to shake that thing off and feel clean again and ask God to forgive us because we know God's forgiving God. But what we don't understand, you can put the condom on all you want. That spirit is going to call unto you. We don't think that. All we think is it's over with. I'm done. Oh God, I made a bad mistake. Father, forgive me. I feel so unclean. And then he gone by his business, because he's so glad that he finally got in. Okay. But you, as a woman who say she's a woman of God and who say he's a man of God, but for some reason you're like, man, I wish we hadn't went there. I probably shouldn't have sat on the bed. I probably shouldn't have had the wine. I probably shouldn't have smoked a little weed, because a whole bunch of you Christians still smoke a whole bunch of dope too. Keep it real. Well, you are, because so much is in your mind. So I'm talking about in a few minutes from my book, that things that you got to look at that's keeping you naked. Spiritually, you're naked and you got to get these things covered up in the blood. Not just covered up taking no tablets to go to sleep. Not just covered up smoking a little dope to coke. We're talking about really getting it covered in the blood. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about a little bit about what I learned about being single. First of all, being single is a joy. Okay, it's a joy to me, because now let's keep that record straight. I love men, and my issue is that I figure that because I have been married, and I believe that now I can be free to make sure that I build better families. Is what my counseling ministry is called. I want to build better families, because I believe that where the enemy robbed me and I allowed myself to be spiritually blind for, I believe now that I ask God to please allow me to help build better families. Help me to build marriages. Help me to build relationships for those who really, really want it. Everybody say they want a relationship, really don't. Everybody say they want to be married. They really, really don't even know who they are. They got a whole wide open of their own mouths and lives that they've destroyed themselves with their own speaking and requesting things that's not of God, and allowing things to come in and give right to their bodies and their minds and their souls that God has never intended for us. So anyway, I want to talk about this part about being an effective single person really quick, and then I'm going to give these particulars that I always share out of my book that we're going to start with. Then I want to talk about those diseasements that really cause us to stay there. And I'm not going to go any further with you today, but I want you to meditate on the song, play it back, and listen to what she said. She said, you don't complete me, which is true. No one can complete us. Only God can complete us. The Bible tells us, you got the scripture right there, in Colossians 2:10, that we are complete in him who is the head of all principalities and powers. You need to read it all, because a lot of the principalities and powers are there because you give them right to come and hover in your life, because you never got your soul released from the things that's tied up from your past. You just keep going relationship after relationship. Figure that you can go on and put the label on, so you can get all the weave done, so you can get all the nail gun and toes done, get the booze pumped up and the butt pumped out, and you're still empty. Don't want to preach. Okay. So here we go. Let's talk about the first part of this on that in regards to that scripture. It's talking about image. It's talking about character. It's talking about you're wide open and you know who you really are. But you think you can make it up like I just described it. That you can fix it up and that you can title it up, that you can be very intellectual and you can do all these things. And that nobody would know, but God knows, because he created us. First of all, you need to understand that your image says a whole lot about who you are. I want to read the part that I think is important that I read in Dr. Miles Monroe lesson he taught, was talking about that you need to find yourself. See, a lot of you are looking for a mate. A lot of you are looking for a man to complete you. A lot of you are trying to get that oneness and that love type of connectedness with someone because you feel lonely. But the key to singleness is being alone. We're one in him. It's very hard to understand and very hard to comprehend or want to do when you never tried it. And the reason why people can't try it because they don't really know who they are. We say we know who we are as far as a title is concerned, But who are we complete in our daddy God with? I believe that as we begin to really, really give our whole life to the Lord, not just some, I want you to read Colossians 2 and 10 all the way to 12. Okay. And it'll break down to you to understand that you need to know that he's got to be in you. And, he's going to make you whole if you allow him to really be in you. When I made a decision that I wanted all, that I said, I'm through playing, I'm through trying to taste the little tree here and taste a little love, whatever we call love there. When I made a decision that I didn't want to hide no more and play no more, then and only then I realized that I was okay being in this single position, meaning not single alone, because I'm complete in him, because he's the head of all things and he's my creator. So I'm complete in him. So I don't have to look to completeness. You can't complete me is what the song just told you. I look for everything. You were there to give me this or that, but you still could not complete me. And many of us can't be completed because we got all these things going on. And first of all, when you think that you need to be married, you need to be looking at, am I really single yet? Many of you want to be married, but you never captured what singleness really is. Ask yourself, well, am I really, really demonstrating what a single woman would be like? Most single women are so content that they know that if they got married, it would feel like something foreign to them because they have so emptied their lives of the flesh that they have given themselves totally in the spirit to the Lord. That's pretty much where I'm at. And this is the reason why I can talk so candidly to you. Now, if I was married, 9 out of 10, he may have a level of shame or fear of what guys may say. And I did experience that because being a counselor and a therapist, talking very candidly to try to get the clutches of hell out of people. That he was at times going, why you talk like that? Why you that? Some things we don't need to say, and some things we need to wait to say. But I believe because I am a deliverance minister, and some things God would allow me to say, because in the hours I'm delivering a message, is somebody got to get that clutch, got to get snatched out of that fire, because that's the responsibility I have as an apostle. Okay. Now, but when I was married, I was the evangelist. And so, but because of the oil that was on my life that was already manifesting where it is now, I was speaking in the times before my time. And the Lord allowed me to be able to use that ministry in the realm of rawness that I did to bring marriages together, to bring relationships to the place that they need to be, so they wouldn't keep fornicating, so they would make a decision to get married and get themselves together. But back to the singleness. See, what the singleness does, it gets you to really know who you are, that you don't be wide open and demonstrating all the pain and the hurt that you keep bringing over and over and giving rights to sleep with you in your bed. Many of you, yes, have soul ties, but you got spiritual husbands too. Many of you are willfully sleeping with succubus and incubus. That's why I'm talking to you bros too. You sleeping with succubus, and you sleeping with incubus. Those demons are holding you down and making love with you because it feels real good. Listen to me. Once you give these spirits an opportunity to be in your life, they're going to come, and they're going to come in subtle ways. They're going to hold you down, or they're going to do things to you. They're going to masturbate. They're going to keep you masturbating. They're going to do things to you to make you doing stuff you don't even realize you're doing. I'm telling you right now, most of this is because you never grasped singleness and giving your whole soul to the Lord. And when you give your whole soul to the Lord, these are the things I want to close this conversation in part 1 about today. From my book, and here it is, once again, Spiritually Naked Women. But guess what? This is a workbook. It's not just a book. It's something you to work it out. You have got to work it out. I know it feels lonely. Do you ever think that I feel lonely? I may feel lonely sometimes, but I know how to get that really quickly because I know how to go visit and fellowship. Okay. But alone, I know how to be single. I know how to feel complete in being alone in this house by myself. Matter of fact, I love it. Okay. I keep doing this because my glasses seem like they're doing something. Okay, here it is. All right, there's the other one. All right, let's see. All right. Wherever it is, then. Okay. Now, anyway, I want to give you these here because I want to share with you really, really quick. And I pray you share this message because these things that I want to share with you out of this workbook is talking about people who are in a emotional distress, but these things have, how to say, creeped over by permission and private will of your own. This is why you can't be single. This is why you're looking for a mate that you don't even qualify for, as Proverbs tell you, that you're wide open. Everything, you got walls that never been built up. You have no boundaries. And so these boundaries have, these lack of boundaries, it was only created because of trauma. We as women went through a lot, and you rose too. A lot of men that listen to me, many of them have been sexually abused and everything else, and they will never tell anybody. And so they look for someone to make them feel that they are a man. So they'll have sex with this woman, sex with that woman, to try to make sure they keep that drive down where they really want to be with a man. Same thing with the women. So I'm going to keep on trying to have sex with these men to get out of my mind that I really want to sleep with a woman because I don't trust men no more. And for some reason, the woman make me feel complete. I don't want to talk to you. Thank God I never went there. Guess what? But what it is that he wants me to make sure you know is that he wants to give you the opportunity to look at these particulars that I'm going to share right now. And when I give these to you, please share them. Because we got too many of our young girls who are dying. We got too many young men who are just allowing themselves to be suffocated because of these secrets that they need to get counseling for. Now, you could either look at me all day long and say, I don't know what she's talking about. She need to go do something with her hair while she's trying to tell somebody something, or she try to do this or that. You can say whatever you want. But one thing I do know, I'm not afraid of the devil, and I will share what God is telling me to say. And then for such a time as this is very necessary. We got too many right now who are spiritually naked, who are looking for a mate, who are hoping God will show them in their eyes who their mate is. When your eyes are not clean, they're tainted with flesh. And so because you're looking in the wrong realm, you don't have Jesus truly Lord over your body because you haven't totally offered it. You only said it, but to offer it is work. And it's going to cost you to get some things done. Okay, so let's talk about these five and I'm going to get off here. This is a classroom for you today. Yes, it is. It's a classroom. I want you to take this classroom, part one of spiritually naked men and women. Okay, I'm talking to you. And I want you to think about what I'm saying to you concerning why you cannot be married and feel like you complete. They're not going to complete you. They're not. Because first of all, you can get married. You can be married all these years. But unless you learn how to be single in your marriage state, you will never, ever understand what God is going to do with your fullness of who you really are. Because first of all, you got to know who you are. Because as long as you know who you are, then you all can be completing each other because you're one. And when you're one, you're first one in him. All right? That's why he says you completed him who is the head of all principalities and all powers. Because that means you love God more than anything, any materials, and any human being. We got to deal with the matters of what you allowed in to your soulish realm, and that you keep speaking and allowing yourself to have a wall that has never been put up and it's wide open for everything because of these particulars right here. Number one, physical pain. Okay, so first of all, most of you have a poor self-evaluation of physical pain. You already know you're hurting. You already know you're going through. You already know that part of your self-worth and your self-esteem is dealing with these things. You're in physical pain. Many of us physical pain is manifested by some type of physical hurting, okay? It could be something in your body. It could be something you're dealing with. We got a lot of men who deal with a lot of physical pain. Excuse me, because let me get some drink. We have a lot of men who deal with a lot of secret physical pain because a lot of them are hurting because nobody ever dealt with them in regards to the areas in their lives that could be dealing with overweight, dealing with issues that cause them to have different things going on in their bodies, whether it could be some things dealing with their private parts and things like that. So physical pain can cause a lot of men who don't want to perform even when they're married because they got a lot of physical pain and a lot of insecurity about part of their genitals probably that they really are ashamed of, and it's painful in their mind, and could be painful physically. Okay, so that could be anything. It could be something chronic that you're dealing with. Number two, and then emotional pain. This is the biggie, okay? Emotional pain, my Lord. We as a people, it don't have to be a color. We're talking about pain, period. We as a people, emotionally, we are going through. Okay, so emotional pain can be anything. It could be shame, it could be rejection, it could be disappointment, it could be just simple pain of fear of rejection. Okay, so this pain to even hear anybody reject you, or this pain of making you feel like there's signs and symptoms of someone coming around you that make you feel inferior, or not enough. Okay, because a lot of women can talk about men in their genital areas and say things to them about what they've done to them sexually to make them feel like an ant. And so we got to look at this emotional pain that we have endured that's caused us to be in this state that we have been in. So painful issues that are very significant in our lives can really challenge our emotions. So we got to look at that to see what is the catalyst that's driving this thing and make you keep going in this cycle, because you've given this boundless, this wallless type of relationship that you're thinking that you need for your relationship, whether it's a sister girlfriend, or whether it is just your bro, or whether it is that this person you thought or you are anticipating is going to be your mate. Number three, social pain. Okay, I talked about this on the last session that I was on with somebody. It's a feeling that you don't fit. First of all, you got to understand social pain means that many people are finding themselves isolated. And this is the reason why they feel so alone. You got to fellowship. You got to get with people. You got to do things. One of my greatest fellowships, I love to go to bookstores because I love to read. And so I go to bookstores, I go to libraries, I go visit friends. But one of the things that I enjoy the most is meeting new people, especially in the library. Because I meet teachers, I meet lawyers, I meet a lot of people. But I'm not trying to find, in my eyes, no mate. I'm just getting to fellowship and break the spirit of me feeling lonely. Because I'm not alone, remember? Lonely. So I want to do something. I take myself to the movies. I really love going to the movies by myself because I ain't got to talk to nobody and telling me about nothing about the movie or did you see this or nothing. I'm by myself. I eat my popcorn or whatever I have, and I don't have to listen to nobody. I love it. I don't know about you, but I do it a lot when I can. And so then number four, mental pain. We might as well face the fact that a lot of the relationships that we're calling our spouses, that we're calling even our friends, have some fine line of mental illness. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. So mental pain, this type of pain is one that most commonly come with reasons that people turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs, they turn to pornography, because many of these people are suffering from this type because they can't sleep, or they don't feel sexually fulfilled, or they have these mood swings, or they have this sexual appetite that seems like it's not getting fulfilled. And so mentally, these are some red flags. Because I was telling somebody, I couldn't believe it was like maybe in the third or fourth year after I got married, because I went, okay, thank God. Okay, he smoked a little dope. I was smoking a little dope. Okay, so now that I really decided I'm giving my whole life to the Lord, maybe he'll see that and stop. So I was smoking cigarettes like a choo-choo train. I put them down, stopped smoking the weed, okay, and stopped taking the alcohol. And so I told him I don't want it anymore. And so I said, I appreciate if you try to, come along with me to help, you break that, because I really don't want to smell it. I don't want to be around anymore. Well, that was your decision. And I'm in my own house. I should do what I want to do. But this is what shook me. From that ram, when he saw that I didn't want that ram no more, I know I'm talking to you, especially you preacher women, he decided he went and got pornography. And wanted me to watch it with him. So in his own eyes and way, was telling me that he's trying to teach me how to make better love to him by watching the video. I know I'm talking to you. And telling me what to put on. Wear this. Do this. You see how she's doing that? Oh my God. When I put my eyes on that, I feel like I wanted to vomit. You know why? Because he lives in us. When he lived in me, I said, please, if you're going to look at that, go ahead. If I'm not enough, that you have to look at that. I don't know where we're going with this marriage now. I left the room. He stayed watching it. So I had to be tormented by all kinds of demons because he opened up that thing in our bedroom. And I say tormented, I mean really tormented. Well, my bed was shaking at times and demons and things were moving in the house. And so I was up doing a lot of warfare and praying because I trusted God that he was going to do one or two things. He was going to save him or move him. Guess what he did? He moved him. But I wanted the marriage because I know that God adores marriage. But listen to me. The marriage is not going to complete you until you get to understand that the only way you're going to be completed is through our daddy God first. Okay, so then number 4, spiritual pain. There it is. See, spiritual pain is the one that where the enemy comes in and make you feel like it's so hard to break this. This is the reason why the man almost killed me. Because there was something about the sex that he gave. It was something about, the fact that I feel like that he wanted me because I wasn't a pretty girl, that he wanted me. I figured, what does that mean? That you would want me and he was so handsome. But what it was the sex drive that he had and that I had that was calling onto us. And I was in a spiritual pain. I mean, I'm getting beat up, but yet I'm still allowing myself to cook grits and lay down for more. I know I'm talking to you. I'm trying to talk real calm today, as we notice. And so spiritual pain, this is when a person experiences these crises of these soul ties that visit you in the night, or these spirits that talk to you in your head going, nobody's going to know. So I'm going to do it one more time, This is my last time because I just want him to know what he's going to be missing or what she's going to be missing. I just want to do it one more time just to feel her, to feel him one more time because I'm going to let them go. I know they married. I know they going to go back to their spouse. I know her husband getting out of prison. I know this situation's ending. I know I'm talking to you. Been there. But what happens was every time I was in that realm was, okay, my real husband getting out of prison and I'm stuck with this soul tie. And for some reason, I didn't want to let that soul tie that was standing by, I know I'm talking to you, until the one guy out of prison come on in. Okay. But when the one from prison get ready to get out, now I'm distressed and emotionally traumatized. God, I just love him so much. I don't want to hurt him. And I believe he loves me. But it was nothing but sexually driven. Okay. It was nothing but spiritual pain. It was nothing but soul, spirits calling and tearing at my soulish realm because it had become fragmented. Because now it's pieces of me everywhere. That's what the scripture's trying to show you. You're fragmented. You're spiritually broken. Your purpose is gone. You don't hear, you can't see. All you know is I want to be married because I feel lonely. I feel that God has got to have some mate for me. I'm too old now. What am I going to do? I just want to have someone to say, my husband, my wife. That's not going to get it. It's still just a title. It's just an image. You got to die spiritually. You do. So these things can't overtake you. These are very profound issues that you're dealing with, especially when it's dealing with the spirit realm. And so when I come back next time, I want to talk about these spirits that transmit diseasement that causes many of you to stay in this place, to keep thinking, I don't want to be single. I've got to get married. Well, you're messing up because you're going to have to be single before you can be married. That's all I have to say. I want to leave you with this word here today. Let me see what I'm going to give you today. Well, this is a word that came from a commentary that came from someone by the name of Stacy Bird. And she said, God's silence ripens men's thoughts into speech. God's silence ripens man's thoughts into speech. What are you speaking? What are you saying? I want you to say like that. What are you speaking? Are you speaking life that you know that He's completing you? Or are you speaking death that you're not going to be able to make it because you're too old now? Or that you can't seem to get connected with anyone now? It looks like you're not going to ever be married. No one wants me. I can't begin to even understand why I thought I knew that this had to be the man. It was prophesied. I knew it had to be the woman. I had a dream. It was prophesied to me that this is my mate. Think about that. What is God saying to you and not your flesh? Remember, it's up to you. You could decide to be single or you can be married and still think you're whole, but you're still not going to be complete because it's going to be Him that's going to complete us. We'll talk about it the next session. God bless you. Please share the message. Love you so much. Let's see how we're going to get out of here. Talk to you later. Please share it.